So what's going on, everybody? It's just your boy QuestX coming back at you once again with another video, and I wanted to discuss Baker Mayfield in this situation or I guess this beef that the NFL is trying to propagate between him and Hugh Jackson. Now, Hugh Jackson gets no respect from me, especially since his cutting a jig for the NFL when it came down to the NFL protest. So you know that I don't really. To me, this is no love lost here. I'm not defending Hugh Jackson. My issue pertains with the NFL and the NFL fan base and the media, especially when it pertains to this Baker Mayfield individual. Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback. The Browns have 7 wins. Now, keep in mind, I want to make this very clear. I have steadfast to my absolving of the NFL. I'm totally not supporting the NFL. I haven't watched a single game since Colin Kaepernick has been disrespected. So I can't tell you directly the games I saw, how he manages game clock situations. I'm just going by the stats I'm reading, and statistically, he is doing really well. This is his rookie year. Congratulations to the city of Cleveland, because, hey, you guys, the Browns, anybody who's watched football, they understand and know football is for the Browns, it's been rough. It's been a hard road. So I take nothing away from the Browns fans. Here's my issue with this Baker Mayfield situation. However, I have not watched games. I have kept up with articles, interviews. I have watched post-game interviews. And this situation between him and Hugh Jackson is a couple of people's problems and a couple of people's faults. First, this is Hugh Jackson's fault, because Hugh Jackson is getting his comeuppance and is getting his season-long moment. And I don't need to say the word, but for my brothers and sisters out there, how the NFL did Colin Kaepernick, Hugh Jackson is getting his moment all year long. And the media is capitalizing on that. And when you have a quarterback, and again, I'm just going to bring it to it, when you have a white quarterback who we know how the NFL disproportionately treats white quarterbacks to black quarterbacks, this was a media's dream storybook headline going into this season. The guy who benches during Hard Knocks the number 1 pick, is then fired, then goes to a rival, and this quarterback who's on a good streak is now playing and starting, and he doesn't like his former head coach. I mean, come on now. You couldn't make this stuff up. This is a dream. Here's my problem. And this is where it goes to the second portion of the issue of this. Now, I've mentioned that Hugh Jackson was first to be responsible for this situation. The second is the media. The media is painting a huge-ass bullseye on Baker Mayfield. The Browns organization, however good they've been, they are not winning a Super Bowl this year. And they're setting a tone and they're setting a precedent that if Baker Mayfield does not come out next year in his sophomore year firing on all cylinders, there's going to be problems for the Browns organization moving forward, and there's going to be problems with the expectations for Baker Mayfield moving forward in his career. Then let's get to Baker Mayfield. Do I like Baker Mayfield's attitude? I'm a competitive person, so I understand you want to be fiery. You want to let the opposition know that you are coming for their heads. As a quarterback in the National Football League, you don't see that very often since the days of Brett Favre. You don't see that very often since the days of, I know a lot of people like to use the Psycho Tom situation, but Tom Brady is very competitive. But Tom Brady is very calculated and very calm in how he goes about trying to take your head off. Baker Mayfield is young, and he's a tad bit emotional, especially in a game. Adrenaline is rushing. If anybody's ever played the game of football, You want to be fiery. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I used to love watching Brian Dawkins, Weapon X from the Philadelphia Eagles play. You love those players who play with edge. Ray Lewis, before he started putting his tap dancing shoes on. Dynamic, fiery players. You love seeing that edge, that brutality. Baker Mayfield is a quarterback, so you love seeing that as well, because your leadership, the team, again, the fish rots from the head down. It also thrives from the head down. So being that he's bringing that mentality to the Browns organization, you're seeing the efforts of it. The team is playing well together. Here's one word of advice to Baker Mayfield. This is your rookie season. We've seen plenty in the National Football League. This is a game of statistics and game planning. Baker, you're getting this off because teams aren't ready for you. During this offseason, during next year preseason, teams will plan for you. And then we will find out exactly how good you are. Then we will find out if that fire that you have, if it's just false bravado because you guys are winning, or is it because you right now are riding high on a very good storyline, I will have to give you, of being benched in preseason, okay, to coming and starting and bringing your team to a winning streak. I can't fault you on this for capitalizing on it. But then you will find out what you're made of. Because there have been plenty of quarterbacks, and I don't know statistically whether all have, but statistically there is a high probability that all very good rookies who come into the league, especially at quarterback, usually go through sophomore slumps. Here's my question, Baker. What happens when you go through that sophomore slump? As long as you keep it to you have an issue with the opposing teams, you have an issue, you want to go after them and win. If I start hearing, and this will also be a test upon the media, will they turn on Baker Mayfield the way that fiery, competitive nature was with Terrell Owens? You guys remember this individual? One of the greatest receivers of all time, okay? Who had a competitive streak, who wanted to galvanize his team offensively, but he didn't get along with them. Baker Mayfield displays a lot of those tendencies, and he's only a rookie coming into the league where he feels like it's all about him, and everything starts and ends with him. Will he take ownership if next season teams start planning for him and it's not going his way? Will he have the same mentality that he's the leader? Can he accept fault if he doesn't produce? Will he still exhibit that leadership and uncanny, fiery energy to bring forth on the football field? Listen, I love the game of football. It's been hard for me to not watch the National Football League, but I ain't gonna tap dance or cut a jig for nobody. I still feel that the NFL has completely disrespected Colin Kaepernick, and Colin Kaepernick deserves to be on a fucking football field. Okay? So, for me, this is not about watching the games. I don't need to watch Baker Mayfield. I just keep up with the stats. He is doing very, very well. But, again, starting next season, this is when you're going to find out what you're made of. Because, let's be honest, Dak Prescott was getting some of the similar headlines that Baker Mayfield is getting this season. Dak Prescott was on a high. Everyone was like, you can't stop this kid. This kid is just the goods. He is statistically very solid. He's almost mirroring Dak Prescott, okay, as far as the energy and the new dynamic ability to be able to extend plays. All of these different situations, okay, from what I'm reading. What happened to Dak in his sophomore year? Because teams started planning for him. When they start sitting guys down in the pocket to watch and to QB spy on you. When they start bringing up and keeping guys to contain the pocket for you so you can't move. When they start actually blitzing you, okay, and they're doing multiple different reads and types of blitzes on you. These are going to be the things that's going to actually show us what Baker Mayfield is made of, what he actually is. When they drop back an extra defender on an extra DB, okay, on your favorite targets. All of these things are going to happen in your sophomore year. Is Baker Mayfield this guy that everyone is trying to make him out to be? Or is this just, he's just still upset with what happened in preseason? And I'm going to be honest with you here. I saw one of the commentators say it, and he's not a very, very regular commentator. He's part of like the D League, as far as media pundits on ESPN First Take. He actually had it right. And I saw a lot of people in the comment sections getting on this guy. He said, this is not college. This is not high school. This is the professionals. Do you think, without any shadow of a doubt, that the people that he is disrespecting as far as his opponents are not looking and saying, okay, we got you, Bake. We'll wait. We'll wait. And I'm going to ask you this question to you Cleveland Browns fans, to you Baker Mayfield fans who may like the fiery and competitiveness. Don't get all upset at Baker Mayfield because you're supporting it now. But don't get upset if he gets into that sophomore slump, I'm saying, and he starts forcing things, start throwing picks, start getting a little bit erratic, because it happens to every one of them. And if you're going to support him now, you better be there to support him next year and a year after that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. It's your boy QuestX. Shout out to the entire LDBC, and I'm out.